Hi guys and welcome back to the Mighty Blues. My name is of course Cameron and welcome back today to another live stream. It is Monday afternoon, of course, no game review because we didn't have a game at the weekend. It is still the international break, unfortunately. Absolutely nothing going on regarding Everton Football Club. There was a couple of birthdays yesterday, obviously Bernard and Bernard and Gylfi Sigurdsson sharing the same birthday. Gylfi Sigurdsson 30 yesterday and Gary Speeds as well, of course, Everton legend. So other than that, there's not much that has gone on over the last couple of days in regards to Everton Football Club. Obviously, we're at the international break. England played on Saturday night. Jordan Pickford and Michael Keane, I believe, both completed 90 minutes in England's win. And other than that, like I said, not much happening. Now, I didn't want to really come on stream on Monday and talk about the international break. I could have done a little bit of a breakdown of all the players that have featured for the international countries over the last couple of days, but I thought, no, you know what, we're here to talk about Everton. We want to talk about Everton Football Club. We've been bored shitless out of our eyes for the last 3, 4, 5 days, and we just want Everton to come back, really, and we just can't wait until Sunday. So obviously it's Monday night, like I said. The first episode of the Unpopular Opinion series done really, really well on Saturday, so I want to just start by saying a massive, massive thank you for all of the support on the first episode of the series. If you don't know what this is, basically it's a series where I sit down, I give an opinion that people may disagree with, people may agree with, and we sit and we discuss it, and you guys give me your thoughts and give me your opinions in the comment section as well, and we discuss it live on stream. The first episode, of course, was all about Everton Football Club. It was all about the Blues, and it was all about why I think we should avoid 7th place, and specifically the Europa League spot that you get obviously when you finish 7th in terms of having to go through the qualifying stages. Today's episode we're going to do another one. Now, I don't really want to bombard you with this series constantly. However, like I said, there's literally not much going on at the minute regarding Everton Football Club. There's not much going on at all on social media. Nothing's happening other than obviously the lads playing for their international countries and going out and playing in the competitions and the friendlies. Like I said, there's not much going on, and we're still going to keep up the steam, and obviously we're still going to come in and we're still going to talk about Everton. So I thought, you know what, I'll do another episode of the Unpopular Opinion series. Now, like I said, a massive, massive thank you for all of the support on the first episode. Got over 350 views, just nearing 50 likes as well. So a massive, massive thank you to everybody that watched that, viewed it, commented on it, gave your opinions, and of course liked the video as well. A massive, massive thank you for that. We're going to come with the second one today. Like I said, obviously Wednesday's live stream and then Thursday's game preview to the Bournemouth game. We'll be getting back into the swing of things obviously when the Blues are back, but today we're going to talk about Everton, and specifically a couple of teams that are in and around us this season and will be in and around us, I believe, come the end of the season, and that is Chelsea and Manchester United. Now, I am going to give my opinion, and my opinion is I believe Everton should finish above Chelsea and Manchester United. And there's a couple of reasons why I think this is an unpopular opinion. Firstly, is because I think other football fans outside of Evertonians will probably think that it's unlikely that we'll finish above these two teams. But other than that, Evertonians as well, I think a lot of Evertonians will be optimistic this season, and we'll be coming at this season with the thought of that we may finish above Chelsea and Manchester United, that we've got a chance to finish above Chelsea and Manchester United. But I personally think that we should be finishing above Chelsea and Man United, and we're going to go into some of the reasons as to why I think that today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the start of the season for those two sides, and we're going to talk about the back end of last season as well. So just to clarify, my opinion isn't that we can finish above Chelsea and Manchester United, because I think everybody agrees with that. Is that we should finish above Chelsea and Manchester United, and these are the two teams that we should be looking to take over this season. Now, obviously, we're going to have to look at the likes of Wolves, obviously, we're going to have to look at the likes of Leicester, but for me, we should be aiming at these two teams and trying to overtake them, because it's, it's a big, big opportunity, especially with the issues that Manchester United have got and the issues that Chelsea have got as well. James says, alright, Cam, alright, James, hope you are doing well. Hazrat says, alright, Cam, you okay? I'm doing fine, thank you, mate, hope you're doing well. Chris says, hi, guys, hope you're all well. Hi, Chris, thanks for joining, hope you are doing well. Ian says, how do all? I'll do, Ian. I'm not too bad. Hazard says his right can't bring on the Blues up the effing toffees. Spot on, spot on. Chris says, I'm currently away in Stranraer, Scotland with my girlfriend to get rid of the international break. Yeah, it's absolutely shocking, isn't it? Everton FC is the best, as Chris. I'm an Everton fan or a Liverpool fan. Luke says, obviously we should finish above the shite as well. I'm not going to go that far yet. That will be an unpopular opinion, me saying that Everton will finish above Liverpool. And Chris says, I'm a Liverpool fan. I can watch what I want, mate. That is true. That is true. And Chris is a dead set Liverpool fan as well. So give him some respect in the comments. He comes, he discusses, and he's sensible as well. He can have a conversation about football without it getting bitter and biased. So big up everybody in the comments as well as Chris. I'm just going to tweet today's stream out so everybody knows that we are live. The guy that's running me 11-a-side football teams decided to get into the group chat just as I've started streaming and organised training for tomorrow, which is convenient as I can't, give my thoughts and my opinion. Max says, hello Max, hope you are doing well. Give me just 2 seconds and let me just tweet it out. Only other little bit of news is that the FIFA ratings have come out today. I haven't paid too much attention to them, to be honest. I will be buying FIFA. I do play FIFA. But I don't really pay too much attention to the ratings, specifically Everton players as well, because FIFA notoriously downgrade Everton players. I dare say our highest will probably be an 84, 85 if you're interested in that sort of stuff. And it'll be absolute bollocks anyway, like the rest of them are. So they've been released today, but we're not going to talk about that. We are here, of course, to talk about real life football and Everton this season. Hadrat says, yes, we should be aiming for the top 4. If he can keep it going all season, anything can happen. Spot on. And Chris says, what about Everton should finish above Arsenal as well? See, Arsenal was a team that when I first thought about this team, when I first thought about this topic a couple of days ago, I sat down and I thought, right, for me, Chelsea and Manchester United are the teams that we should be aiming to finish above. Well, not really be aiming, but we should be finishing above. If we want to be seen as a title contender in the next couple of years, if we want to be seen as a team that are challenging for the Champions League, like Denise Baxendale has expressed, then we need to be finishing above the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United, especially when they're in the situation that they're in at the moment. Arsenal a little bit different. I think Arsenal might just have a little bit too much for us. Obviously, they've got an absolutely unbelievable front three. They've got an unbelievable goal scorer in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and that's what I think takes Arsenal to the next level above Everton, is the fact that they've got that natural goal scorer in Aubameyang that's going to get them 20 to 30 goals this season, and we don't necessarily have that yet. Don't get me wrong, obviously once Moise Kean settles down, he could become our natural goal scorer, but I don't think that's going to happen this season, whereas Arsenal have already got one there that's got Premier League experience and that has proven to be clinical in front of goal as well. So I think Arsenal might have a little bit too much in terms of going forward. However, defensively they are shite as well. John says, should get on PES 2020. I used to play the PESs, I really did, back in 2006, 2005. PES was better than FIFA, it really was. It was boss, but then it just went down the pan, and I'm not even gonna lie, I can't even watch a PES video now. The gameplay for me is just absolutely shocking, but that's just my thoughts, that's just my opinion anyway. But listen, I might get that bored tomorrow, then I might even buy PES just to fill the gap between now and FIFA. Anyway, let's talk about Everton, and let's talk about why we should finish above Chelsea and Manchester United. So obviously, 4 games into the Premier League season, we're not going to include the Lincoln game because, the other teams haven't played in the cup competition yet. Everton, of course, winning 2 games, drawing 1 and losing 1. Of course, beating Watford and Wolves, 2 sides that were there or there around us last season. Of course, Wolves finished above us. The team that I think a lot of us will admit we were really fighting with for that top 7 last season. Obviously, we've already beaten them at home. Watford, again, another team that done quite well last season, getting to an FA Cup final, and also challenging in the league for large parts of the season as well. Chelsea, currently this season, have played 4, of course. They've won 1, they've drawn 2, and they've lost 1, of course. That loss being the big defeat to Manchester United on the opening day. They currently sit in 11th place. However, United, who sit in 8th, have got the same record: 1-1, drawn 2, and lost 1. Obviously, the win being against Chelsea on the opening day. So these 2 sides obviously have played each other. It came out in a massive Manchester United win, and I don't think the results actually said too much about the game of football. I think the game was quite tight in itself. Chelsea had a lot of chances in that game, and Chelsea could have easily been 2 or 3-0 up by half time before Manchester United even scored their first goal. Obviously it didn't go that way. United were clinical on the day, didn't create an awful lot, but what they did create, it went in. After that, since then, of course, listen, you've seen United drop points to Crystal Palace, Southampton, Chelsea similarly as well, Sheffield United. So I think these 2 teams have shown this season that they've got issues and that they've got things that they massively need to overcome. I haven't watched some United fans on YouTube and the fan cams and all that sort of stuff. They're getting really frustrated at the moment with the club in itself. Some getting frustrated with Solskjaer, some getting frustrated with the board, and just the overall feeling around the club, saying it's not good enough. Chelsea, a little bit of a different situation, obviously. They've got this transfer ban, they've already done one summer of it. They've now got January, I believe, and then they can start signing players for next summer. But they've got Frank Lampard, who's just come in as a new manager as well. Managed Derby last season, got the Chelsea job after the sacking of Sarri, after Sarri successfully won the Europa League. So obviously there's different situations for both clubs. Chelsea obviously with a new manager, with a transfer ban, having to play, you know, a large part of this season with a squad that, you know, they probably necessarily didn't want to have, losing their biggest player in the summer, of course, in Eden Hazard. For me, not replaced as quality whatsoever, not replaced as goals. Okay, they've got you know, a couple of decent young players coming in terms of Mason Mount and in terms of Tammy Abraham. Do I think Mason Mount and Tammy Abraham are top 4, even top 6 players? I don't. I think Mason Mount's got a lot of potential, but he's also got a lot to learn, and I really don't think Tammy Abraham's a top 6 striker. He's played well over the last couple of games, granted. However, I just think, you know, over the course of the season we'll see that. So obviously, you know, you're looking at these teams as Everton and you're thinking, right, okay, obviously, you know, we spoke about it multiple times. We spoke about how we need to look at ourselves. We need to sit down and we need to, you know, take a massive look at ourselves and focus on us and focus on our results and focus on, you know, who we're playing and obviously getting the wins week in, week out. We've done that against Wolves. We've done that against Watford. That's not what we've done against Aston Villa, and that's why we went out and we lost the game. But you do also have to take a little look at the teams around us. And for me, you can look at your Leicesters, you can look at your Wolves, but I don't want Everton to be really going into this season. I want Marco Silva and Everton Football Club to be sitting down 90% of the time focusing on Everton Football Club and, you know, who we play and how we're going to win that game of football. But the odd time that we do look at the teams around us, we need to be looking at the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United. We need to be looking at the teams that are in that top 6, in that top 4 that we need to be breaking into. We can't look at those teams as, right, okay, they're the next step. We need to get over Leicester and Wolves. We need to just be confident and say to ourselves, we are the bigger and better team than Leicester and Wolves. Yes, they're going to compete in the exact same way, but we need to show that we're better than them. And for me, it's not a solid top 6. It's not like you've got the top 6 there and then you've got Everton, Leicester and Wolves and, you know, a couple of other teams that are fighting for that. And that's how Sky Sports will want you to see it. That's how Sky Sports try and play it out. That's how, you know, BT and Sky try and play it out, that you've got this big mighty top 6 and then you've got a couple of other teams that might break into it. That's utter bollocks. That is utter bollocks. Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal to an extent. I'm not going to say Spurs. They've had a rocky start to the season, but I think they'll settle down. Definitely Chelsea, Manchester United and Arsenal are in that same bracket for me as Everton, Leicester and Wolves, who will be fighting for the top 4 and the top 6. It's not a mighty top 6 with Chelsea, United and Arsenal, who are definitely, you know, 100% going to get there. The way Manchester United are going at the minute, they'll be lucky to finish in the top 10. And Chelsea, obviously, you know, going to struggle at times this season. So don't listen to Sky and all that sort of shite telling you that there's a definite top 6 and, you know, the other teams like the Leicesters, Everton and Wolves are going to be fighting to get in that, because that's not the case. We are fighting against United and Chelsea as well to finish within that top 6 or possibly even top 4. And, you know, obviously, like I said, you look at the start of the season that these two teams have had and they've been very, very rocky. Now, granted, we haven't had a perfect start to the season whatsoever. Obviously, dropping points against Crystal Palace at home wasn't ideal, although the circumstance, you know, you take into consideration. However, the Villa game for me was the real negative of this season, and that's why you sort of sit there and you go, you know, they're the type of results that we need to be sort of grinding out, and they're the type of games that we need to be nailing down and not going away from home against teams that have only just come up into the league and being beaten like we did. Now, for me, the difference between Everton and United and Chelsea as a couple, there was the difference last season, wasn't necessarily squad, wasn't necessarily quality of players, wasn't necessarily performance, because if I'm being perfectly honest with you, now that United have lost, obviously, Romelu Lukaku, who, you know, they ripped to bits, obviously, and, you know, we're not the biggest fan of him myself because the way he left Everton and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, obviously Romelu Lukaku's gone. They've lost Alexis Sanchez as well. Again, two players that, okay, weren't necessarily fan favourites and weren't necessarily, you know, getting all the love from the fans. But Lukaku was a natural goal scorer. He was going to score you 10 to 15 goals at least this season. Alexis Sanchez could come on and could make an effort. And obviously with Chelsea losing Eden Hazard, I really do think that the quality of players that we have are just as good, if not better, than Chelsea's and Manchester United's. Obviously, you've seen those two teams struggle this season, like I've said. For me, the difference between us and them last season was they had sprouts of consistency and they had sprouts of stability, whereas we didn't. We had a very much of a rollercoaster season last season where we'd go on a 4-win streak and would absolutely batter whoever we were playing, and I literally mean whoever we were playing, including Liverpool. Manchester City were the only team last season that over 2 games we didn't manage to gain points off in terms of, I think that's 2 anyway. Or anyway, over 2 games we didn't looked like we were a decent side against, and you could even argue that against with Manchester. I think that's wrong actually. I think that we lost points against other teams over two sides as well. But basically what I'm saying, in terms of that top six, obviously we drew with Liverpool at Goodison Park, we drew with Chelsea and beat Chelsea, drew with Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, beat Chelsea at Goodison, beat Manchester United at Goodison, drew with Spurs away from home as well. So other than Manchester City, we've proven that we can go against these top six sides and get results and even win games of football. And the difference with Everton last season was that we could play like that and we could have a sprout of form like that, but we'd also have a sprout of form where we could go to Fulham and we could go to Wolves at home, Watford at home, West Ham at home, and we could be turned inside out, and that's what we need to iron out. They're the type of mistakes that we can't be making this season, and that was the difference between Everton and Manchester United and Chelsea last season, was that they had a little bit more stability and they had a little bit more consistency, whereas we never. And if we can get that consistency and we can get that stability this season, I do think we should finish above Chelsea and Manchester United. And for me, if we don't finish above at least one of those sides and they continue on their bad run of form, listen, if Manchester United next week sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and bring in a top manager and go and absolutely rinse everybody, then there's not much you can do about it. But if United carry on this run of form and Chelsea carrying on struggling because of their situation, then for me I see it as a failed season if we don't manage to finish above at least one of those sides. And okay, obviously you've got to worry about Wolves and Leicester, etc., but taking them out of the equation and looking at us as we are, let's be honest, we're a much bigger club than Wolves, we're a much bigger club than Leicester, we're Everton fucking Football Club. We should be looking at Chelsea, we should be looking at Manchester United to take over. These aren't these aren't the teams in the top six that are, let's say that have the least quality. And you don't, let's not look at the top six and say, right, well, them six are better than us all, but Chelsea and Manchester United are the worst out of them. No, why are Chelsea better than Everton? Why are United better than Everton? We took both teams to Goodison Park last season. We absolutely rinsed the pair of them. We battered Manchester United, absolutely battered Manchester United. We were very unlucky to not get anything out the Old Trafford game, and obviously we got 4 points out of Chelsea over 2 games last season. And for me, like I said, if we can nail that consistency down, and if we can nail that stability down throughout the season, because Chelsea are going to have a run where they win 4 or 5 games on the bounce. Manchester United are going to as well, even with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Never mind, if he's there or not by come the end of the season. So we need to make sure that we have that consistent run as well, and we're not dropping points against stupid sides like Aston Villa away from home, in games that realistically we need to be winning. At the end of the day, if we can have another good run like the end of last season where we can beat the top teams, then it's just as important that we go on and we beat the teams that are towards the bottom of the table as well, because for me, we can't really afford to be losing many more games in the way that we lost the Villa game. Where are we? Hazard says yes. I think I've read that one. Blue Blood says finish above Chelsea, unsubscribe. That's fair enough, but that's just my opinion. He also says, just joking, Cam, hope you're okay, mate. I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you're doing well. And he also says, got better Wi-Fi now, so can see with OBS. Belter, boss stuff. Bob Stevens says, Pepe doesn't look that special to me. His touch is woeful too. The Sky 6. The Sky 6 Sports were saying he's an excellent player. Hey Cam, by the way. Hi Bob, hope you're doing well. I think I like Pepe. I think he's a decent player. I think he's going to take time to settle into the Premier League. A little bit like Moise Keane is. A little bit like, every single player that's coming from a foreign country is going to take time to settle in. Pepe had a really, really interesting stat last season where I think a lot of his goals were from penalties. Make of that what you will. But I think he's a decent player. I just think it's about, him taking a little bit of time to settle down. Bluebird says, our transfer ban is to be reduced to 1, so we can sign players in January. We want Zaha. He supports Everton. I don't want him near the club. Fair enough. I like Wilfred Zaha. Before Crystal Palace were quoting Everton in the summer, I personally wouldn't go back in for him either. Blue Blood Fan TV says, where do you think you will finish and us? I'm not too sure about you at all. I don't watch a lot of Chelsea. I'm not going to lie, I don't really pay attention to much Premier League football if it's not Everton, because I'm an Everton fan. In terms of Everton, if it's not inside the top 6 for me, it's a disappointment. Hazard says, don't know where everyone will finish, have to wait and see, but yes, confident. Yes, spot on. Blue says, in my opinion, no offence to you or Everton, Wolves are better than Everton. I disagree with that. I think Wolves are going to massively struggle this season, and I'm even another unpopular opinion that I might put out there in an episode. I'm not going to say it now, but it's probably a lot controversial, and I'm definitely going to make another episode on it because I've just thought about it on the air. But for me, Wolves are going to struggle this season. He also said, I doubt Everton will break in 7th, their highest this season. I disagree, but there you go. Hazard says, who won the last week? Blue Blood, yeah. Bluewood said, Everton lost at home against Wolves last season. Wolves are overall better in my opinion. Listen, everyone's opinion, that's fair enough. I disagree massively, but that's fair enough. Live says, a little ambitious perhaps, but there's an opportunity this season to finish above Chelsea and Manchester United. The problem is that they have players who can hit a purple patch and get 12 points from nowhere. Exactly, and that's why we need to nail that down as well. Live says, we are more clinical now, though. We are spot on. Blue Blood says, Lukaku is a mercenary donkey and Sanchez is a mercenary piano expert and dog walker, as well as visiting China at times to make sure Mark Gobers doesn't rant about him again. Random, but fair enough. Hadrat says, yes, I know all teams can beat other teams. Chelsea have some defeats and Manchester United lose. Spurs. Ian says, I'm not falling into the tab of saying what we can do, but we finish 8th. We're a crap Big Sam. So we can get consistency, who knows, and that's the biggest thing this season, and that's why I'm going to talk about it in a little bit more depth in a second, is consistency. Lavit says, a lot depends on how quickly they gel together. Spots on. Blue Blood says, Solskjaer will be gone by January. I wouldn't be surprised. Lavit says, Wolves and Leicester can finish above. They can. Blue Blood says, we've got Kante, you've got Sigurdsson, not being harsh. I think Sigurdsson's a much better player in terms of going forward. I think they're two different players, to be honest, and I don't really think you can compare them because they are two different players. James also says different players. Yep, spot on. Chris says, I agree. Chelsea, Arsenal, United should be looking over their shoulders. Wolves' squad depth not good enough in my opinion. I can only see West Ham, Everton, Leicester challenging Arsenal, Chelsea and United. Yeah, in terms of Wolves, for me, listen, like I said, I'll probably do another episode of Unpopular Opinion talking about Wolves, which will be interesting. But I think they'll struggle massively with the Europa League this season. I think that'll have a massive effect on them. And if Wolves finished in the top 10, I will be surprised, and I think that'll be a decent season for them because of that Europa League. In terms of West Ham, I think they'll fall off at some point. And Leicester, I think, are a real decent side, and I think they're a team that will probably be having a very similar conversation with themselves to the one that we're having now. And Blue Blood Fan TV says, thoughts on Solskjaer versus Lampard? I haven't really got an opinion on it, to be honest with you. Both new managers to the league, both seemingly to be struggling at the minute, so I don't know. Who'll go first? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, like I said, listen, for me, Everton need to be looking at these teams, and we need to be looking at these two and thinking, right, these are, Manchester United, a big club. These are, two teams that we can realistically overtake. It's not a mountain to climb. It's two teams that, realistically, 11 for 11, I think we're very similar, if not on our day, better than the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United. So we need to be looking at them. Obviously, you've got the likes of Arsenal, and if you put Everton's 11 versus Arsenal's 11, you'd probably say Arsenal's front three are, more clinical, and that's fair enough. Same with Tottenham, same with, the other two. I'm not even going to go into talking about the other two, but for me, Chelsea and Arsenal, Chelsea and United, you put those two starting 11s next to Everton's, and I think you've got a real, even match. On our day, we can be better than both of those teams, and on their day, they can be better than both of our teams as well. They can be better than us as well. But like I said, going off the back of last season and looking at the way we performed against the top sides last season, obviously beating Chelsea, beating Manchester United, drawing against Spurs, drawing against Liverpool as well, beating Arsenal as well. I think if we can take that form into the games against the top 6 sides this season, and we can also get that consistency, then I'm really confident for this season. Now listen, for me, that's the big word. It's consistency, it's stability. Like someone pointed out in the comment section, then somebody will get Chelsea and Manchester United, will go on a run of 5-6 games where they will win. Well, regardless of how good their players are playing, regardless of how fit they are, they will win the games of football because they do. That's because they've got that little bit of consistency and that little bit of stability. They will also get games where they're beating, like, Manchester United run against Crystal Palace, and obviously they've dropped points against Southampton as well. So for me, we need to get a similar level of consistency, and we need to be ensuring that we can go 5 or 6 games, not just against the top sides, but against the likes of West Ham's, Bournemouth, Villas, Sheffield United, and winning those games of football as well. For me, Sunday's games against Bournemouth are must win. It's a 3 points or nothing. Anything less than a 3 points is a disappointment for me, similar to the game against Sheffield Wednesday the week after. But yeah, there's no reason as to why we shouldn't be looking at those teams, and obviously we'll take a look at Leicester and we'll look at Leicester. But for me, I don't think Leicester will be looking at Everton, and I don't think Everton should be looking at Leicester. I think Everton and Leicester should both be looking at United and Chelsea and going, right, well, we want to finish above them, so we're going to step the game up to finish above those two teams. And then if Leicester step their game up and aim at that, we'll see where it ends up at the end of the season. But for me, I don't like the way Sky and BT try and play it off as that you've got this big mighty top 6 and they're all sitting on their thrones looking down, laughing, going, oh, who have you got a bet on here? Do you want a little bit of popcorn, lad? Do you want a sip of my drink? Yeah, and they're looking down on everyone else, and you've got Wolves and Leicester and Everton who are, nearing the top of the mountain, who are fighting to try and climb that seat. It's not like that at all. Chelsea and Manchester United are falling down the mountain. Arsenal have got one hand on the mountain and very close to falling down. And the other three for me are still firmly sitting at the top, and that's how it is at the minute. Don't listen to anything that Sky or BT chat, because the 90% of it's absolute bullshit. It's not a top 6 and teams fighting to get into the top 6. It's a top 3 and teams fighting to get into the top 6. Realistically, it is. Other than that top 3, it's anyone's game between Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, Everton, Wolves, Leicester. Like I said, for me, Arsenal are just a little tiny bit in front of Everton in terms of obviously the squad and the squad depth, etc. But I don't think Chelsea and United are. I really, really don't. And that's my unpopular opinion. I think that we should be finishing above Chelsea and Manchester United this season. I think if we've got any ambition, and if we've got any sort of chance of, living up to the ambition that Denise Barrett-Baxendale spoke about at the AGM last year, where she said, we want Everton to be challenging for Premier League titles, and we want Everton to be challenging for the Champions League within the next 2 or 3 years, then we need to be finishing above Chelsea and Manchester United this season, because it's really not a long way. 2, 3, 4 years isn't a long time whatsoever. You think back to 2, 3, 4 years ago, it was Koeman, Martinez days, and we haven't really got any further from there. Obviously we've progressed under Marco Silva, but I mean in terms of obviously winning trophies and league position, etc. So for me, that's my unpopular opinion. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. If you disagree, brilliant. That's what we're here for. That's what we're all about. Let me know your feelings and thoughts. If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know why. Leave your unpopular opinions as well in the comments. We're going to dive straight back into the comments now and see what everyone's saying. John says, we can finish top 4, but the problem is that we only have one quality striker and I need one centre-back. Exactly. Squad depth will come into it as well. And that's why I'm sort of comparing us to Chelsea, because again, they've got squad depth issues with their transfer ban. Manchester United, they've got some issues as well in terms of going forward. Obviously, Daniel James is absolutely on fire. For me, he's their best player, has been their best player this season in terms of going forward. But, Marcus Rashford's in a poor run of form. Jesse Lingard's in a poor run of form. Anthony Martial's injured. So, they've got their issues as well, and that's why I think if we can resolve our issues before they manage to resolve theirs, obviously it'll take us a step ahead. If you're enjoying today's team, by the way, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me, and if you're odds already, please do subscribe. I read a stat yesterday on my YouTube analytics that said over 50% of people that watch the Mighty Blues channel aren't subscribed. So if you don't mind, please do take a second out of your day to just hit that subscribe button. You'll get notifications, you'll get emails, and you'll get little, like I said, little notifications if you hit that bell as to when we're live streaming, as to when we're uploading videos as well, so you can come and you can join and you can have your opinion as well. So please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and if you're enjoying today's team so far, please do hit the like. Blue Fan TV says Wolves will finish 6th, I think. I disagree massively. 9th for Everton and 5th for... it's 9th for Everton? 9th for Everton? Who do you think will finish above Everton? Please don't tell me you think West Ham will finish above Everton, because that's never going to happen, mate. James says, what are you smoking? 9th is a mistake. Hazrat says, 100% Cam, depends who turn up on the day every week. Exactly, and that is about that consistency. We need to make sure that we're turning up on the day every single week, whether we're playing United, whether we're playing Chelsea, whether we're playing Arsenal, whether we're playing Tottenham. We need to be turning up every single day. There's no excuse to not turn up. And like I said, for me, my worry isn't Everton turning up against Arsenal and United and Chelsea. I think if you said to me now, okay, race for the top 6, it's between it's between Chelsea, Manchester United and Everton, you all play each other, would you be confident? I'd say yeah, because I'm confident when Everton step up against these big teams, because we've proven before multiple times in the past we can beat these big teams, and especially at Goodison Park we can beat anyone. But if you were to say, okay, race for the top 6, Manchester United, Chelsea, Everton, Chelsea play Bournemouth, United play Palace, and you play Villa, I'd be a little bit more worried, because we tend to slip up against those type of teams. So we need to get that consistency level there, where we're not only fighting and being able to take on the top sides, but we're also being able to take on the lower sides as well. And we're not approaching those games sort of thinking, well, this will be a piss take, this will walk this. Where are we? Ian says, if we avoid injuries and get a strong cover for centre-backs, we have a chance of a really good season. I agree, spot on. Chris says, how many English Everton players will get in the Euro 2020 squad for England? Oh, definitely Pickford, definitely Michael Keane. And then, we're looking at young players then, aren't we? We're looking at the likes of, who breaks in between now and next summer. I don't really know at the minute. I think those two are nailed on. Yeah, like I said, we haven't got many English players in the current first team. Obviously, you've got the likes of Tom Davies. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who are youth players, but whether they'll be, ready in time to play in the Euro 2020, I'm not too sure. Wayne says, like your top, only real men rock on the pink, but the away kit, preferred it to the home. Thank you very much. This was last year's away training top. I really, really like it. It's quite comfortable, and you know what? It's quite warm as well, and it's half freezing in our house, so I thought, fuck it, I'll put it on. And yeah, I've bought the away kit this season. I love it. I think it's absolutely boss. Ian says, well, Chris, 2 played against Bulgaria. Perhaps Delph might get a recall. I definitely think Keane and Pickford will be there with the Euro 2020 squad. Fabian Delph's a good shout as well. I think if he has a decent channel, then decent channel. I think if he has a decent season, then he could be in with the shout. I'm gonna remove that comment, Rain, just because it's it's a little bit derogatory, and I don't really want it. It's not Blue Blood Fan TV, obviously, he's got an opinion. That's fair enough. We've all got an opinion. We can discuss, we can argue, we can disagree, but we don't need to get personal. So I'm just going to remove that one. Chris says if Del continues his form, then he could get the recall. I agree, spot on. Fabian Delph was fantastic against Wolves, absolutely fantastic. My man of the match. And listen, if he continues performing like that, week in, week out for Everton, and he shows those leadership qualities, and he's really, knocking on the door of Gareth Southgate, and I definitely think he can get a recall as well. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's stream. Please do leave a like if you have enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like I said, if you're watching as a YouTube video, leave your thoughts down below on the discussion today. Like I said, my unpopular opinion for episode number 2 is that Everton should finish above Chelsea or Manchester United. Not there's a chance, not that we could, that we should finish above Chelsea and Manchester United if we want to be looking at aiming towards our goals for the next few years. These are the teams that we need to be finishing above this season. Like I said, let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with it, brilliant, put it in the comment section down below. We'll have a discussion with it. If you agree with it, boss as well, let me know your thoughts. Why? Big thanks to everybody for getting involved in the live comments as per usual. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please do hit that like button. It means a massive amount to me. Chris says, great team as always, mate. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, Chris. Take care of yourself. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Like I said, 50% of viewers are unsubscribed. I think it's probably just people clicking on videos on one-off. So if you enjoy what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. We're aiming towards the 1,000 subscriber mark now, just over 800, so we're getting close to it. So please do subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, hit the like button if you have enjoyed today's stream. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday, 6:15 for another live stream. We're going to be talking more about Everton Football Club, and then of course we'll have the game preview to the Bournemouth game on Thursday night, and hopefully maybe even a little live stream with another Everton YouTuber as well, but we'll see how that one turns out, and I'll keep you guessing for that one on Thursday as well. Ian says our next opponent on the day could shake up the top 8. Yeah, I agree. And Hazrat says, yes, another great stream, Cam, up the effing toffees. Thank you very much, Hazrat, and thanks to everybody for getting involved as per usual. Like I said, big thanks to everybody. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. It's at MightyBluesYT for all the latest Everton news and information. Please hit the subscribe button if you have enjoyed today's stream. Leave a like if you have enjoyed. Don't forget to join me on Wednesday for another live stream. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon on the Mighty Blues.